Then they would ride forward, driving everything before them. Beast, men, even bugs. Now the ends would kind of close in to form a shrinking circle. And everything within that circle panicked to get out. So when the Mongols could see each other, they had worked themselves up into a pretty good frenzy. Now when this killing started, it lasted for days, weeks, even months. And it went on until the young son of the Khan asked his father, that the last creature alive, be allowed to go free. Well now, my friend. Well now.
Oh, check it out.
All right.
Look pretty cool though, man.
I would say they were way off course. This is very unusual.
You do something, Mr. Teasdale.
What's going on here, my friend?
Come on, let's go!
All praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who taught me this truth, and salutations to the Akim out there pushing this word in all sincerity and honesty, the hopeful elect. Shalom. My name is Kara Allah. Lord willing, lessons edifying. That was a clip from 1984 Red Dawn. You see these two guys right here, Charlie Sheen and Patrick Swayze. Now, in this movie, it's basically an alternate reality where Russia and other countries invade the USA's, invade America. And this alternate reality in the present time is actually a possibility. You know, it's actually a possibility it could actually happen. Okay, it's no longer an alternate reality, but it's actual reality. So with that, I'm giving you scriptures, and that'll be the end of the lesson. This is Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Let me read that again. Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. that virgin daughter of Babylon is not talking about the ancient Babylon, but it's talking about the present day Babylon spiritually, and that's America, right? And it's known as a virgin because what? It was untouched by war, right? No war came to the soils of America, okay? But guess what? Now, in this war, America is no longer called a virgin, ultimately, because it's going to be destroyed by what? Those thermonuclear missiles, right? But America is also going to be brought to a low state. It said, come down and sit in the dust. America is going to be brought into a state of confusion. All right? That's what the dust represents, confusion and a low state. O virgin daughter of Babylon. Because why? Because Babylon took on the customs. America took on the customs of Babylon. And when you go into the Hebrew for Babylon, it is to say Babal, and that's to say confusion, right? And when you actually look at America, you realize it's a state of confusion. All right? And if one example of that is they took all the laws, statutes, commandments, and they turned them upside down. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. And the Chaldeans were known for what? Their witchcraft. You could look up the Chaldeans and find out about them, and you'll see why America is also called the Chaldeans. Okay? Because America is based on what? Witchcraft. It says, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Right? So there's going to be war, man. Okay? There's going to be war. This place is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles. But before those thermonuclear missiles, the Lord said he's going to bring this place down and into the dust. It's no longer going to be a virgin. It's no longer going to be called tender and delicate. All right? So hearing these words, before those missiles drop, man, you could think a lot of things that never happened before is going to happen. Right? See, in the past, Russia would never invade, or none of these countries would even think about invading America, because America was in its might. America was in its glory. But now this place is coming to an end. And when a shark smells blood in the water, you know that shark is going to attack. Okay? And right now, these other nations, they smell blood. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstone and grind meal, uncover the locks. And that's what we're doing. The men of the Lord, starting with the apostles and elders of great millstone on down. Take the millstone and grind meal, uncover the locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. So we've unfolding. First of all, we unfolding who America is in the spirit, the wickedness that he've done, the true nationality of these people, starting the elites, which is what? Esau, Edom, okay? And we exposed them for their wickedness and their future judgment. This is the article from Newsweek, posted 9/13/22. It says 3 in 10 Americans believe U.S. will be invaded within 10 years. Poll. And this is by John Feng, by the way. I'm gonna jump down. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, sake of the video. It says the U.S. has been the dominant power in the post-war era and continues to field the world's most advanced military force. American defense spending amount to $801 billion in 2021, nearly 3 times that of China's $293 billion, according to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. However, China's rapid rise to become a potential adversary adversary in Asia, an ongoing security challenge posed by Russia in Europe, despite its post-Cold War decline, have caused concerns among policymakers in Washington, whose anxieties appear to have trickled down to the general public. Half of those polled by YouGov said the U.S. was at least somewhat likely to lose its superpower status, with responsibilities across the Atlantic and Pacific in the next 10 years, including 20% who said it was very likely. That was an article going into the point that I'm making. It's very recent, September 2022. So that was a recent article, and it shows you the government fears losing that superpower status, because once they lose that superpower status, right, they'll look vulnerable. The government know it, and the people also know it. And you see these different countries like Russia and China, which they have something called BRICS now, and BRICS basically opposes NATO, right? So this is Obadiah 1, and I start at 1 global. This is going to be quick. Obadiah 1 and 1, the vision of Obadiah, that saith the Lord Yahweh, concerning Edom, which we said earlier who Edom is through the scriptures. Esau, the so-called white man, starting with the elites. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Okay, so these heathens are being risen up, and who's doing it? Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is doing it. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Right, so America is becoming low, and these heathens are waking up to the witchcraft. Okay, waking up to the demon that America is. The pride of thine heart has deceived thee, that dwelleth in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Right, the pride of thine heart has deceived thee, and your pride, Esau, is that you were in rulership and you would not be brought out of rulership. But if you go into history, every nation, every kingdom has a time to rise and a time to fall. And for Esau the wicked, there's no difference. Okay? Thou that dwellest in the cliff of the rocks. Right, because where did Edom dwell? All right, when you go into history, look up Mount Petra, and that was located in Edom, right? And it was basically a fortress that was carved out into the side of a rock. So Esau dwelled in the rocks. Okay, and even the name Caucasian, it is to say, when we break it down, it's to say cave dweller. Okay, so Esau knows his history. It says, whose habitation is high, right? And you see them high buildings, them skyscrapers, that resembles the them dwelling in the caves. Okay, it's in their spirit to live that way, even when they don't put no blinds over their windows. You see right inside their homes, because it's in their spirit. His habitation is on high, going into his satellites, right? Lately, Esau declared space his dominion. He declared space as basically declared space, man. As he's as he owns it. He owns outer space. And basically what he's going to do is weaponize space, right? Preparing for what? A space war or a space invasion, right? Or a space threat, which you know that what that's going into. Who shall bring me down to the ground? The Most High. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, when you go into the eagle, who exalt themselves as the eagle? The Greeks did. And we know through history that they're so-called white or Edomites. The Romans, so-called white Edomites. Now, who else exalt themselves as the eagle? America. Is that a coincidence? No. And that shows you who they are today. And though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. It says, I'm gonna jump down. Obadiah 1:6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Well, the Lord had it sought up, you know, and ultimately he used his prophets, and he also used Esau. That's why scriptures say what? His own tongue shall fall on him. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border, right? Your confederacy, you're going into your NATO allies, right? And that's how we know through the spirit, you know, that NATO is gonna dissolve, and these different countries that you once protected, right, once empowered, they're gonna turn on you, you know, making you more subjectable to what? An invasion. Troops, boots on the ground invasion, right? And ultimately being destroyed by those nuclear missiles. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee, right? So how about these countries jump ship and they join China? They join Russia, right? Because those are the other superpowers. Those are the other superpowers, and those countries have the same power, the same nuclear power capability as America, and prevailed against thee. Man. They deceived thee and prevailed against thee. This is future prophecy. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound unto thee. There is none understanding in him. Right? So when all these things happen to you, Esau's gonna be looking like, what's going on? You know? They're gonna be in a state of confusion. It says, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? You know, because that's the pride. This man never seen himself out of rulership. Jeremiah 51:1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me a destroying wind. And we know Babylon, as I stated earlier, Babylon in the Hebrew, Babal, is to say confusion. All right, now America is modern day Babylon because they take on the customs, and also America is a state of confusion. Right? Because why? It took all the law, statutes, commandments of the Bible and basically turned them upside down. Against them that dwelleth in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. And that destroying wind is going into that nuclear missile technology. And will send it unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. Right? And those fanners that it's going to fan Babylon are these countries with nuclear missile technology. That's why you see these countries advancing so much weaponry, because they're going to be fanners onto Babylon. Then shall fan her and shall empty her land for the day of trouble. The day of trouble, right? This consists of the time of Jacob's trouble. they shall be against her round about, right? And that's, Tom Jacob's trouble. That's, the Lord, and the seventh trump, the last trump, the Lord is bringing this place down. Against him that the archers bend his bow, and against him that lifts up himself up in his brigandine, right? Him that bendeth going into those atomic bombs. Only America have done that, right? And when you go into the history of that, it was basically murder because the war was already over. But America in its pride, right, had to pull that trigger. And against him that lifted himself up in his brigandine, right, his military force. So these different nations are going to come against Esau and his military force and his might, man. They ain't going to have no fear, because why? They're going to have the same technology. And spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts, all her armies. Okay, so that was basically the lesson, right? Yeah, America will be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles. And before that, most likely, there will be invasions, So with that, Lord, let's edifying. I want to say all praise goes to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Chakwadash. And double honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to the Akhmat there pushing this word. Sincere honesty. Shalom.